the billionaires got bailed out, and all the poor people we left with only a tear in our eyes. We got sold out.
It's been 2 years since the Great Recession ended, but many in the U.S. still feel like they're in the thick of it. But in 2011, millionaires hold more wealth than ever before.
If you make a wealthy person wealthier, they're just wealthier. They don't spend anymore.
When I say union, you say yes, union, yes, union, union.
2011 has seen protests sweep across the United States on a scale that's caught many off guard.
Union busted!
A call to action from both American unions and the Occupy Wall Street movement.
The middle class that built this country, and it's the middle class that keeps this country going, and they're shipping our jobs overseas, and nobody seems to give a damn, and I give a damn.
We're not asking for the whole pie, we just want a piece of what rightfully belongs to us.
The 2012 U.S. presidential election is coming.
How are you, sir?
And the Republican Party is struggling to find a leader.
And God woke me up at 3:15 in the morning. And he said, Michelle Bachmann is going to run for president of the United States. She's a born-again woman.
I need prayer, and you're the man to do it.
Here I am, and hallelujah! Woo!
Americans spend hundreds of billions of dollars on medication each year. To keep up with an ever-growing market, pharmaceutical companies are outsourcing a large number of their clinical trials to clinical research organizations, or CROs. Clinical trials are research studies performed on human subjects, and CROs are big business.
The clinical research organization industry is around $30 billion today.
The top players are based in the US, but they seek participants across the globe. CROs now test drugs and vaccines in more than 115 countries.
They come from afar with dreams of a better life, driven by the promise of jobs and stability. They end up in a migrant camp in a small Brazilian border town. Damião holds the key to their future, aided by Ricardo, a Haitian immigrant, providing shelter and work for this steady tide of humanity. Showcasing filmmaking talent from around the world, Viewfinder Latin America, Ticket to Paradise on Al Jazeera.
The Pass bus travels the roads of Mexico, raising ecological awareness and sharing creative solutions for the country's most remote, demonstrating the importance of ideas in the struggle for a better future. Pass Bus, part of the Viewfinder Latin America series on Al Jazeera.
In Romancia, it means a new drum and also a new kingdom. And this is also what we wanted. We wanted to propose a new chapter in the history of Cartoon Rwanda, a new era. In the ancient time, women were not even allowed to touch the drum, because even the drum were not performed for everybody in the country. It was only for the king. And women could not approach this space, which were exclusively for men.
It's Sunday morning at the Temple of Praise Church.
When it hits your heart, you know, your heart is the biggest thing on you. When it hits your heart, then you just go crazy, you black out, you know?
Kevin Gonzalez is 17 years old. He's also a new father and homeless. This is one of the few places he can go to get off the streets of one of the toughest cities in America, Washington, D.C.
I've been homeless for like 11 years. don't got my mother. I never met my father. I only got my daughter right here and my baby mother. You know what I'm saying? This is all I got right here. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm gonna keep praying for.
This is my hometown in North Dakota 4 years ago, and the future looked pretty bleak back then.
Small town North Dakota. Hard to attract people that want to come here and live here.
It'd be nice to get some families in here and have some kids and get the school population back up.
The risk is that the area will die.
Today, a new oil boom is transforming the countryside beyond my wildest imagination. But as I head home to see what impact this is having, it's clear that the oil riches are a mixed blessing.
It's going to make a lot of people millionaires.
There's more people around, a lot of unfamiliar faces.
We have a lot of money in the banks around here, and not just my bank, but every bank.
When we stay with my parents, it's hard to imagine that once we all lived together in a big house where we each had our own room. We took a lot of things for granted.
Seeing how we used to be a year and a half ago and seeing how we are now, I think it's unfair, and I hopefully it doesn't happen to anybody else.
After years of conflict in the Middle East and Afghanistan, Americans might have expected that some of their country's huge defense budget would be diverted to more pressing domestic concerns. But with US strategic priorities now switching to the Asia-Pacific region, will America's top generals ever allow their spending to be cut? Money has always played a key role in American politics, but is it distorting the democratic process? As we reported last year, that's the charge made against Charles and David Koch, two secretive billionaires who've been bankrolling opposition to Barack Obama. So with 8 months to go to the presidential elections, has anything changed? Or could the Koch fortune win the White House for the right?
And if you try to raise our taxes and trample on our liberties, we're either going to beat you or make your life miserable.
And all New York City musicians who moved their families to the small suburban town of South Orange, New Jersey.
When I moved here in 1995, I'm in my new home, and I'm standing in my backyard, and I heard this music. I heard this big band, right? And I say, wow, what is that? Where is that coming from? There's this wonderful park, and there's a stage set up, and it was actually John Faddis leading the Carnegie Hall Jazz Band. I was convinced that I moved to the dark side of the moon in terms of the jazz when I moved to South Orange, because I've been such a New York cat.
Turned out you'd come home.
Turned out I had come home.